Hey everyone, this is Indypride back with game two of the Dutch Dokuzai quarterfinals between Indypride and ARDITI Tall. And let's take a quick look at the setups real quick. I In this game I had pretty much the same strategy. I would have match locks on each flank. This time I brought a Daikyu, and that's going to be really good in making him come to me and being able to take out any match locks that he has. I have two Naginata Samurais up front with 12 attack and 18 defense, and behind that I have three solid katana units. And I did bring more cav this game. I brought two light cav and a fire cav. That's one of my best cav units. And I have a Naginata attendant flanking force on my right flank. So let's take a quick look at his setup. I was more worried about his infantry core this game. He has 21 attack katanas, really powerful no dachis, and he has two Yari samurai on each flank with 20 defense, and they both have hold firm. So he has a very powerful infantry core again in this game, and he has three matchlocks up front. So, and he has a Yari Cav with 11 attack and a Fire Cav as well. So let's start this replay now. And it was a little bit unfair. I mean, it happens in these tournament games. It's happened to anybody who's played in a tournament, and it's why the key building system is so screwed up, in my opinion. I start out with the Shrine, and he starts out with the Archery Dojo. Now, he can definitely use that. He has three matchlocks, so it's not a total waste of a building, but it's really not fair that I get the Shrine and he gets an Archery Dojo. It doesn't balance out. But he's sending his Yari Cav and his Fire Cav out front. And this game, I have the range advantage. I have the 200 range Daikyu, and I'm going to be able to make him come to me and take out a lot of his matchlocks before he even gets into range. And so that is one reason why I picked Forest Gully. I was thinking that he might bring three matchlocks again, which he did. And I'm going to just be able to skirmish them before they even get into range. And I still have the two matchlocks on the flank to ward off cavalry or engage in a shooting battle with his matchlocks. And I still have the front line of Yari Ashigaru. They don't have any experience, but they're really good at taking out Naginata attendants and just wearing down any high-level swords so they don't get the charge bonus. And that's also what my Naginata Samurai are for in the middle here. They're basically just to tank the enemy until I can get my katanas into melee and get some flanking around. So one thing I forgot to mention is that he also has a mounted gunner this game, and I think if he had used that correctly and flanked with it, he could have done a ton of damage to me. Instead, he sends it right up the middle, right into the range of my guns, and loses it. And so that was bad of him. But right now, he's sending his matchlocks up front without any attendants like he did last time. He doesn't have attendants running out front, and that actually ends up hurting him pretty bad this game. And you'll see what I mean in a second. But I retreat a little bit, just want to get a better vantage point and then get some more shots out with my Daikyu. He's already lost 20 men in his Matchlock Warrior Monk, and that's the unit I care about most. He has increased range and rapid volley on it. And right now he's getting really out of position. His Naginata attendants are covering him, and I notice that, and I send my light cav out front and the Yari Ashigaru. And I just basically get a front charge off. I mean, they have a really bad angle to shoot, and I'm able to take out most of his Matchlock Warrior Monk, which is a 1,000 Koku unit, and a Matchlock Samurai. And so just at the start, that was really good for me. But over on my left, I didn't notice it right away because I was taking out his Matchlocks. He's sending a Yari Cav and his Fire Cav in. But I do have a Naginata Samurai there, so he will get a rear charge off but on my Katana Samurai, but I managed to scare them off after they do a little bit of damage. I'm retreating my light cav. I want to keep those alive for any flanking or charge blocking that I need to do. And I'm sending my fire cav over to take out his fire cav. And on my left flank, he's sending his Yari cav straight into my Matchlock Samurai. I mean, Matchlock Samurai are good units, but I'm not sure you want to waste your cav on them, especially when they're backed up by Yari Ashigaru. I have Yari Ashigaru right there, and they're just going to kill that Yari Samurai real quick. And he realizes that I have the range advantage, and he's just going to go for a melee rush. And here come his mounted gunners up the middle, and his powerful no dodges and katanas up front. And he does have the Sword Dojo, so he has even more powerful units now. And I'm a little bit disorganized, and I was a little bit worried at this point. But basically, I just want to chase off his cav so that I can focus on the infantry engagement. And I'm spearwalling with my Yari Ashigaru up front, and sending my Matchlock Samurai forward to take out those mounted gunners, because I was really worried about those. Those are late game changers that can change the outcome of battles for sure. And I just got a really good volley off on him, killed half the unit in one volley, and I'm sending my Naginatas up front now. And I'm just going to tie down his units in melee and try to get some flanks off with my light cav and my fire cav. I was definitely worried about his Yari Samurai with hold firm though. He has them on both flanks, and they're very powerful units, and they can just tank even the best sword units for a long time. And his mountain gunner is just routed. He got a little bit bunched up on my units, and I was able to capitalize on it. He's sending his fire cav in behind, but I have on my left flank, but I have Yari Ashigaro and Spear Wall. He's going to be able to cover that, so they can't do any damage. And my fire cav is much better than any of his cav units. They have 19 attack, so they're really powerful. And I'm going to end up taking out the rest of his cav with my fire cav in the back there. And now it's just a melee grind. It's just going to be whose veterans can hold out the longest and who can flank with their matchlocks and the rest of their cav to try to turn the infantry battle in their favor. I have a slight infantry advantage right now. And as the battle progresses, it starts to get even bigger. I've got my Daikyus in the back shooting at his matchlock samurai so that they don't get any good shots off. And I just took out his fire cast. So he now has nothing that can turn the infantry battle in his favor except for his own infantry. And since they're all tied down in melee, he can't flank. And I have a free fire cav with 17 attack. And I'm just going to be able to do whatever I want with them. And I still have my Daikyus shooting. They have 108 kills at the moment, and they're going to get even more. I'm into his general in melee combat, and his whole line is wavering, but he still has hold firm. He can still win this. It doesn't look good for him, and now his units are starting to waver, and I have my fire cav flanking around, about to take out his matchlock samurai. He just sent his Yari samurai into melee combat. He just popped hold firm, so they won't rout, but they have a fire cav in their rear, and I have more melee infantry left. And as soon as that gen dies, this game is going to be over. So he didn't do quite as well as he wanted to. I know. I mean, at this point, it's the quarterfinals. He's already beaten 2 other really solid players. And he told me after the battle, he's like, "Yeah, I just didn't play as well as I would have liked to." And I mean, it happens to everybody. But he played a decent game, a decent series, and I just want to say good game to him because he was a very good opponent, and he was just nice about everything. I just routed all of his units now, and so that is that. I move on to the semifinals to face Agony Twitchy, and going into that, I was a little scared, and I'll show you those replays in a little bit. So thank you for watching, guys. We're going to go to the stat screen, and after that, I just want to say thank you for watching. So again, here we are on the stat screen. Looking at my stats, I had my fire cav was definitely my best unit that battle. They were able to block a lot of his cav's charges and take out his cavalry. He did have 2 cav units, but his fire cav weren't vetted highly, and mine were. And so my fire cav was able to take advantage of that and do a lot of damage to his cavalry, and then get around his flank and start doing some hammer and anvils and taking out his ranged units. My katanas did well in the melee grind. Actually, I had 3 units with 123 kills, 2 katanas and a Daikyo, and that Daikyo was really good too because it made him come to me, and it made him get a little disorganized so I could get my light cav into his matchlocks and take out that advantage that he had. And looking at his stats, his fire cav did well. They got a rear charge in my katanas, but he just wasn't able to flank as much as he would have liked. I think he kind of squandered his melee advantage by blobbing up and sending multiple units onto my spear walls. I think he would have been a lot better off sending 1 or 2 to tie down my spear walls and then flanking around and getting flanking and rear charges off. But he just wasn't able to do that. I think I did a good job countering any of that he tried to do. And his matchlocks did pretty well too. They had 75 kills each, and they actually at the end of that battle there on his left flank, I think he probably routed some of his own units with his matchlocks, so that was probably a mistake as well. But his hold firm Yari Samurai were able to keep them in the fight, and I mean, he didn't play as well as he would have liked, but he didn't play badly, and he was a good opponent. So I just want to say good game to him, and thank you everyone for watching. Up next, I have Agony Twitchy in the semifinals of the 64-player DD tournament. Bye.